what is the importance of a shareholders agreement? The question actually said, what is the importance of a shareholders agreement in a small business? But actually, I think it's important to have a shareholders agreement in any business, regardless of size. So I'll hand over to you for your answer.
Thank you. I don't know. I thought about it in advance, obviously, because I cheated in terms of a small business. But as you say, it is important for any business. But the larger businesses tend to put them in place a bit more because there's more to protect. So therefore, small businesses don't think about it. In terms of what's in a shareholders agreement that's so important, it basically looks at things like director decisions, restrictions if someone's to exit the business, any shareholder exits the business, dividend policy, which for most people in the business is rather important as a shareholder, and things like that. So it's basically in advance, you're sitting there and going, right, these are key important factors that we need to think about. Let's make our decisions now and all agree to it and sign it into a legal contract, and therefore anyone can sue on that if the company or the shareholders don't abide by it, especially the directors. So instead of it all coming up later on, 3 years down the line, oh, I want to take this money out of the business, well, that's not what we agreed, prove it, etc. It can all implode, and suddenly you haven't got a business anymore because the shareholders are fighting, and it can basically kill the business off. So you often see a lot of businesses die because of infighting for things that hadn't been thought about in advance and put down and put into a legal agreement. In terms of a big business, or certainly a bigger business when it's not just two people 50-50 or something like that, one of the key points in the shareholder agreement is the minority protection side of things. So there's often a schedule where it says the following decisions cannot be made by the board without the consent of 80%, 90%, 100% of shareholders. So it just gives minority shareholders that are putting their investment in that little bit of safety over what's been agreed in advance are important decisions for them. So essentially it's just there to protect the shareholders, especially those that don't have the decision-making abilities.
So it's like a rule book that you do at the start, yes, to prevent potential arguing that could end up in court.
Exactly, and a lot of companies, a lot of companies rely on say, well, we've got the articles in place. If you just rely on the articles, especially a lot of companies start with the model articles, it's going to go nowhere near any of the decisions that a shareholders agreement does. It's just the generic things. It's not going to go into what suits this company best and how this company should do things. It's all just generic. So if you're relying on the model articles or any articles, normally it doesn't go far enough. It doesn't become a rule book. It becomes just guidance in generic situations.
It can connect and overlap into my field as well, can't it? Because you can state what you want to happen in the event somebody passes away. So it's useful for that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it protects often in that case as well. A lot of people, as part of shareholder agreement, say that some people have to get policies put in trust in terms of buying the shares back, so that it protects the estates of the family while deciding that the shares go back to the company, so as to not let new people in, but make sure those people are properly compensated and there's insurances put in place to pay out, so they can be.